It's 8:36 a.m. April 5th, 2025. As you can see, this is my paper from April 4th and April 3rd and April 2nd, but it's now April 5th. I just modified it slightly. Again, use for youtube.com/that symbol, WADEALANHEINEMNMN. There's two MNs at the end of that. Part of that paper's ripped off there. And my own social media, x.com/WADES2ND. My only current one that I can get into for a long time. Again, not left Iowa in months, never been to Florida, not worked for anyone since 2018. I'm Wade Allen Heineman. I was born 11/4/71. Male, always, never LGBTQIA. And as you can see, I'm in the woods here trying to recover from energy attacks again. See in the rearview mirror from behind me there. You can probably see I don't know if you can see the ethanol plant there behind me or not. And then there's the buildings up there. But I don't get out of my truck all day when I'm recovering from energy attacks. This is, again, my old plate. The front plate was stolen off either my Prius. I think it was off my Prius. They stole the plate a long time ago in 2024. But I basically don't get out of my F-350. Yesterday I got out and walked down by the river a couple times, but I'm still on my parents' property here, and as indicated, the neighbors into town here, they followed me to Dollar General. Last name Decker. Never had any connection to them, and I suspected him involved in some of the staged lies, but since nobody ever tells me anything, I can't say for sure. But he's a cow farmer, pilot, such. But they followed me to Dollar General the other day. Don't know why. I don't know any of his family other than him. I know he's married to my cousin's daughter, but I've never actually met her. So, I posted about 6 posts on my theories, physics theories, since April 4th, about 4 a.m., starting April 4th, about 4 a.m. Been watching some videos on Roger Penrose, and he has, out of all the physicists, he has a more similar theory than as I do, but it's not really anything close to mine because he's still talking about expansion of the universe, and I don't believe in that. I believe, that cosmic redshift of distant galaxies caused by light waves losing energy and falling down the spectrum from light to infrared to microwave, and then floating, the particle still floating around as it loses all its energy is just floating around as a small mass, as Einstein and Richard Feynman both believed that light is both a particle and a wave, two of the smartest guys in the last 100 years, 100 to 250 years. So I've been posting about my physics theories in the last about 6 posts. One of them has to do with my low angle of impact meteor craters, Gulf of Mexico and Hudson Bay, that one video I watched gives more proof that my theories are correct, and they are my theories. Anybody trying to claim them are criminals, frauds, trying to steal my ideas again. I posted about them first. I came up with the ideas. They're mine. One of the videos that I watched on YouTube, there's evidence in some of these very large canyons out in the west that the floods occurred within a matter of days rather than during millennia to wear away all the earth. That these were such huge floods caused by massive floods in a few days, which would be explained by these massive meteors that would have hit Hudson Bay and Gulf of Mexico, as I proposed early 2024. My ideas again. Anybody trying to claim them are criminal frauds. And then my other physics theories, I posted about singularities being, singularity is at the center of a black hole. That's defined by Einstein's theorems. It puts a singularity at the center of a black hole. And I explained that my belief is, and possibility, it's possible, and it's my belief that singularity is just the center of a vortex, which would mimic a singularity, or a singularity could be reflected in the center of the axis of a vortex. If you take the center of a vortex, it is the absolute center, and it would mimic the same thing as a singularity. That was a simple post I put up. And then there were other posts defining what I meant by my theories of light waves eroding into infrared, then microwave, and that mass and energy are the same thing, defined by E equals mc squared. And the M in E equals mc squared guarantees that a photon has mass, because a photon has energy. Therefore, it must have mass as well. But even if it's such a slight mass, we can't detect it when it is not moving. So therefore, when these photons lose all their energy, they become, quote, floating photons. They don't have momentum. So they are just the particle part of light, rather than the particle and wave, that now they're just a particle that is floating, and they become packed in and around galaxies, which form an ether, or dark energy, or dark matter. Sometimes I've said in the past dark energy when I meant dark matter, just a slip up of the tongue. But dark matter is the same thing in my theory as the ether. It's packed in and around galaxies, and it is largely due to the light waves that have lost their energy and then get pulled in by the gravitational centers of galaxies. And again, I've expressed my theory on gravity being the aggregate of all positive and negative charges. And I didn't mean just positives drawn to negatives. I meant positives that are drawn to positives as well. I guess, it's hard for me to specify in tweets what I mean by my posts, because you only have so many characters to do so. And then when I try and convey it to the public, I'm not always thinking, how do I have to convey what my exact thoughts are to somebody that doesn't understand my theory, when it is a new concept and I'm creating the context of the physics myself. And again, I'm in a Ford truck. It's a Ford F-350. And here's my hand again, 10.7-inch hands. Here's my scarred finger, same as always. Wade Allen Heineman's scarred finger, 10.7-inch hands. So I was explaining those things and responding to Penrose, which I'd love to talk to Roger Penrose, because he is a distinguished physicist, but he's also a good thinker. He's open-minded, and I don't know how open-minded or prideful he is in his own work, but I would enjoy speaking with him. He has a good mind. He has a very good mind, and seems to be open-minded. And he's getting up there in age. He's 93 now, I believe, or 93 or 94. So I respect his thoughts, but if he ever claims anything to do with me or my ideas, again, I only say those things because I have to, because nobody tells me who the frauds are. So I have to have kind of a standard disclaimer that I don't know any of these. I've never had any connection to anybody that's trying to claim a connection to me in regards to my ideas. I don't know what else I added new. I don't remember if I added more new stuff. I'm just trying to clarify my ideas that I've already put forward. And I think sometimes people don't follow them, so they misunderstand what I mean by my theories. But I tried to make it a little more clear again in the 6 posts that I put up. And again, nobody has disproven any of my theories. And the Big Bang theory is not a scientific theory. It can't be tested. It is just a projection into the past and a guess. And I don't believe any of it myself because there's 2 explanations for redshift of distant galaxies. It could be expansion of the universe, or it could be light waves eroding into infrared and microwave. And I believe it to be light waves eroding into infrared and microwave, which is my postulation that I've never seen postulated prior to me postulating it in 2015. So that is my idea as well. Light waves eroding into infrared, then microwave, and then becoming floating photons, as Einstein and Richard Feynman are in agreement that light is both a particle and a wave. And E equals mc squared, if you believe that equation, which pretty much everybody in physics and science does, it guarantees that every photon has a mass. Even if it has been accepted that in science that photons do not have, or that are massless, they have a very slight mass because E equals mc squared guarantees that. And I'd like to see anybody in physics come to me and argue that point with me. Come to me and argue that point with me that E equals mc squared does not guarantee that photons have a mass, no matter how slight. And if we can't, whether we can't detect it or not, we can't detect dark matter, can we? That's why it is unexplained to this point. We do not know what the explanation for gravity is at this point. And again, I will reiterate that when I say all the aggregate of all positive and negative charges drawn to each other, I don't necessarily mean just all negatives drawn to all positives. I mean all charged particles drawn to each other, the aggregate of that, and that would all be spread out throughout all mass, centers of mass, galaxies, spiral arms of a galaxy, black holes, sun, stars, planets, and the ether, which I put forth is no momentum photons, particles. It is the leftover piece of light after it has lost all its energy that is both a particle and a wave, as defined by Einstein and Richard Feynman. I'm Wade Allen Heinemann, never been in the military, never been married, 53 years old, always lived in Iowa. There's my scarred finger yet again. And it is April 5th, 2025, just before 9 a.m. And this again is for youtube.com/@symbol WADEALAN HEINEMAN. Not been on a plane or jet since 2011. Never had a tattoo. My hands are 10.7 inches long, green eyes, not blue. 6'1", graduated Wapsie Valley High School in 1990. Always been male, heterosexual since birth. No changes. Not sought any changes. Barely used my Medicaid since 2016. I posted a post about that. Anything other than these uses of my Medicaid or medical at all since 2016 is a lie. I used it probably during the false police report that I was hearing voices in 2019 where the doctor would not listen to me, and they put me in the hospital for 36 or 48-hour evaluation. The doctor wouldn't listen to me, that I'd never heard voices. That was one use, apparently, I think, probably. I don't remember if they used my card or not. And then my card seems to be missing, is why I'm stating this. And 3 visits in 2024 for had nothing to do with my sexuality, other than I asked the doctor to verify that I was male, born a male, so that everybody knew that, but he wouldn't do it. And then I had one visit for, I was going to have a doctor check out my skin on top of my head, but I went to the doctor once, and then I was supposed to go to Iowa City, which I never did. So that's the only use of Medicaid I've had since 2016. Any other use is a staged lie by criminal frauds that have gotten a hold of my medical card, because I cannot find it at this point. And again, it is April 5th, 2025. All my ideas, poems, blogs, inventions are mine. Not used Facebook at 4 years. Many staged lies by many people who have claimed connection to me that never had it. Never had any connection to AOC or Elon Musk. No knowledge Elon Musk or AOC ever claimed to be a theorist, inventor, blogger, poet. I am those things. My parents seem to care more about vandalized Teslas than my suffering, as I've been hit with energy attacks the last month. They know it. I tell them every time I go over there, and they seem to care more about vandalized Teslas now, when they used to denigrate all EVs, and just they had no respect for EVs. Like they were outspoken about how much they thought EVs were worthless. Now Elon Musk is a Republican, and they get vehemently defensive of his vehicles getting vandalized, yet they seem to care less about me being tortured, which I can't tell you how disappointing that is, and how much it makes you not care about yourself when your parents don't. So what I'm saying is, to parents out there, be careful of how much you're vehemently defending politics over caring about your family.